Alrighty. All right, welcome to Friday. We are checking our homework, which is assignment number 8. It was a Brontosaurus FRQ and some exercises that were out of the book, but I put them on a worksheet for you. So, is everybody okay with part A of the Brontosaurus, that the last two kind of fail because you're not doing it with replacement? So you don't have independence, and your p-value, your probability that it's supposed to be 50-50 is going to change each time. Now the downfall is when you get to part B, a lot of you probably set up a binomial, but you just proved to yourself in part A that you shouldn't do that, right? Like you just said in part A, this is not binomial, so you should not use this formula, which gives you like 0.004 something. Instead, you're just simply saying, well, the first Brontosaurus bone being male would be a 10 out of 20 chance, and the second one would be a 9 out of 19, and then an 8 out of 18, and a 7 out of 17. And when you multiply that all out, you get 0.04% chance that if there really are 10 male and 10 female brontosauri in the swamp fossils, the chance of getting all 4 males is only a 4% chance. So part C asks you, so do you think it really is 50-50? That you have 10 males and 10 females? If you really did get 4 male Brontosaurus left femurs, do you think it's really 50-50? And you should say no, because there's only a 4% chance that that would happen if it truly was 50-50. And 4% isn't very good odds. And then for part D, it says, well, can you generalize the results of this little survey experiment? I guess it would be excavation to all brontosauri in the world. And the answer should be no, because we only took randomly from those in the swamp. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention up here. Part A, you might think it is independent because they randomly selected the bones. The problem is they didn't put them back. And why would they in that case? It's not something they should have done if you're trying to randomly sample the bones found in this previous swampy area. So you can't generalize that out to all Brontosaurus, that most of them were male or something of that sort, because this was not randomly selected from the population of all such Brontosauri. And the next dinosaur we find needs to be named after your classmate Adam, because he has the most awesome last name for a dinosaur name, don't you think? Adam Bayraptor. It needs to be a dinosaur. They call it a Bayraptor. Some type of swooping something around the ocean, because, you know, bay. Just my thought. Okay, other questions on anything except for the multiple choice going through. And did it take you that long? Stephen, how long did it take you, dude? Okay, so even though it looked long, it didn't take that long. Any questions on any of this stuff? Then let's go to question 83 and add some in. Oh, by the way, the rhubarb. I had to put that problem in there because my favorite food product on the planet is a rhubarb pie. Or rhubarb sauce. Or rhubarb jam. I'll take either. It looks like red celery. It does not taste like red celery. If you like sour cherry or like sour fruits, you would probably like rhubarb. Very tart. And I am hoping I have 4 plants coming in. I guess they get them from Australia because the name of the rhubarb plant is kangaroo barb. It's called a kangaroo barb because it's supposed to grow all summer long instead of dying out after the spring. And so I paid a lot for these plants. It better do better than these we're going to do. All right. So we're going to go to 83. 81 says if there's a 20% chance that you reach a live person, find the mean and the standard deviation, and make sure that you interpreted those. Number one, make sure in 81 that you have two sentences. But number two, make sure the sentences are correct. You shouldn't say if many, many calls are observed. No. If many, many sets of 15 calls are observed, then you would expect 3 of them to reach a live person, because it doesn't make sense to say if you observe many, many calls, you would expect 3 live people. You're only observing 1 call and you expect it to turn into 3. Nope, that's not what's going on here in the binomial world. In the binomial world, you're observing many, many sets of 15 in this case. Same thing down in standard deviation. If you observe the random digit machine making 1 set of 15 random calls, then the number of live people that you would expect to reach is going to differ from the average of 3 up above by about 1.55 people. So make sure you have that down correctly. Then number 83 just changes things a little bit. It says, now let's look for the people who aren't reached. Let y equal the number of calls that don't reach a live person. What is my probability going to be now? Instead of 0.2, it's going to be 0.8. And if we do 15 times 0.8, we get 12 not live people. Like meaning we get their voice recording or just a random busy signal. And that kind of makes sense because the last time we had the answer 3. And so if you're either saying you're going to get somebody to talk to or not, then that makes sense that 12 plus 3 adds up to 15. All right. For the standard deviation, guess what happens when you go to calculate the standard deviation? It does. It stays the same. And why does that make sense? Well, that makes sense because of 2 things. The arithmetic, the algebraic way to think about it is the commutative property is in charge here, and it doesn't really matter if you swap the 0.8 times 0.2 or 0.2 times 0.8. But what we're really doing is we're picking up and we're moving a data set, and when you pick it up and move it, does it stretch it or shrink it? No, it stays the same width. So you don't have to have quite all those words down there, but that's what's happening. So make sure you fill in 83 for me, please, before you upload your pictures. All right. Okay, so for the first multiple choice problem, apparently Joe has found out that 25% of eggs contain salmonella. So he's only ever going to use 3 because that 4th one that he would pick up was, of course, going to be the bad one. So this is asking what kind of distribution this is. Well, there's a fixed number of eggs. He's picking up 3. So we know it can't be geometric. And he's only getting 3 eggs, so it has to be either B or C. And the probability of getting a bad egg is 0.25, so it's 1/4. So the answer to 101 is B, as in boy. And do you guys know that eggs don't have to be stored in the refrigerator? Anybody have chickens? I'm pretty sure the Markovs raise chickens, don't they? Anybody know Rania or Annika? Because Mr. Markov will give me eggs and tell me you don't really need to put these in the fridge. And they don't really have the expiration date that they say. Does anybody know how to tell if an egg's still good to eat? Well, you can just fill up a bowl of water, put the egg in. If it sinks and lays down flat, then it's good. If it stands up but it's still at the bottom of the bowl, it's going to be bad soon. And if it floats, throw it out and don't eat it. All right, just little, that was extra. You can leave the tip at the door. Just imagine if you had to like come in and swipe your credit card or like drop your 20 in the bucket every day for like, okay, I'm paying for class today. And you could tip me on the way out. That would be awesome. All right. I mean, think of what you make for babysitting right now. What's the going rate for an hour of babysitting? 10? If you had one kid, it would be 10. So I'm like really with you for an hour and a half, right? We'll keep it at 10. I have 50 kids a day. I'd make $500 a day if you each gave me $10 when you walk through the room. That would be sweet. What do I make right now? I don't know what my average daily rate is. I think it's in the 400s though, which is not bad. I'm not complaining. I have never complained about my salary as a teacher. My daughter, on the other hand, complains all the time. Because in Arizona, whatever you get hired at, that's where you stay unless you get your master's. And then once you get your master's, you go up a little bit, but then you stay there. Like they never get cost of living raises. But every year, the minimum salary goes up. So the people that were hired this year are getting paid a little bit more than she gets for being hired 2 years ago. And when she complains, I say, Arizona is ranked number 50 in the state that values teachers. Ohio's like up in the top 10, I think. Arizona's number 50. When you choose to teach in the state that values teachers the least, you shouldn't really complain about your salary. And then she just gets mad. And then I say, well, move. Teach somewhere else. Well, Robert's getting more to go to grad school than I get to have a real job. I'm like, yeah. Arizona's number 50. Did I tell you it was 50? All right. Win exactly one prize. When I hear the words exactly one, I think binomial, and I know it's either C or D. And then I go up and see that it's a 25% chance of winning. So it should be C, as in cat. Then it says Jeff keeps playing. I don't think I've had a student named Jeff for like a really, really long time. Have you ever had a student named Pamela? Yes. Way, way back when I first started teaching. I think I've had one Pamela. And that was Pamela. Her sister Erin teaches over at the middle school. Her dad used to be the chief of police. Jimison. Erin Jimison and Pam Jimison.
Have you ever had another Jameson?
I don't know. What's their names?
What?
What's your older siblings' names?
I don't have any older siblings.
And I've had Jameson last names, but never first name. Yep. Jameson's a good name. Just like Bayractor's a good last name. Jameson Bayractor. That sounds tough. What else? Oh, I've had Merchkevich as a last name. That was a little hard to pronounce. And then I've really botched up some names pretty badly in my lifetime. There was, I believe it, Cherhati, C-Z-E-R something, and I used to pronounce it Cesarati or something. I don't know. All right. exactly 5 times, and he wins on time 5. So that means he has to be a loser 4 times, and then 5th time is the winner. So this one is D as in dog. Or David? I don't have any Haleys or Howies right now. That's a good thing because I am bad at that. And they get mad. I finally gotten Elena down because I just think of walking down a lane just before I say your name. But I still would botch up her last name, so I'm not even going to try it right now because I will totally not do that right. Okay, who knows what the answer is for this one? It is D. How did you do D? Well, I said 40 times 0.1 for the mean. And for the standard deviation, I did the square root of 40 times 0.1 times 0.9 and get 0.190-ish. Alrighty. So you can now take pictures of all those and upload them to the second spot that says this is for a grade. Yes?
What was the answer to the first one?
B as in boy. Yeah, I circled both of those, but I didn't cross off the B. I think having a last name like Merchkevich is a cool thing to do to a little child. That's a long name to spell. Although Leah probably feels the pain. That would be a long name to learn how to write when you were little. And when you're done taking your pictures, please kindly, gently remove page, I believe it is 15. Yep, page 15 that says the 12 days of statistics. And I could sing this for you, but I won't. Golden rings for calling birds. When I taught algebra class, I used to do a contest to see if they could figure out how many presents did this person get by the end of day 12. Because every day they get a partridge in a pear tree. So right there, that's 24 partridges and 24 pear trees. Think about the way the song goes. All right, this is what we're going to do. I am going to set the timer for 11 minutes. You are going to put everything on the floor except for this paper and a calculator and something to write with. Page 15 and 16. Put your name upon it because eventually you'll be turning this in and it's worth 15 points. And I want you to try it on your own for a good 10-ish minutes. And then you'll get to have assistance as well as formula sheets. But right now, it's just you, your brain, your calculator, and something to write with. And in order to get all of the 15 points, you do need to show a little work. So you need to show the numbers you're writing down, or in the case of binomial, you need to put like the parentheses 5/3, parentheses, point something to the third, point something to the second. All right? So you have 11 minutes, and you may begin. What's your question? You're working on page 15 and 16, showing work with your calculator, but not using any formulas or anything. thing again. I think it started. All right, so for day 2, the second day of statistics, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves, and it asked what's the probability of at least 1. Well, to do the at least 1, it'd be 1 minus none, right? Which is 1 minus 0.47 times 0.47, because you have 2 of the turtle doves. If you did it the straightforward way, you could say, okay, the first one is a female, the second one is male, or you could say the first one's male and the second one's female, or you could say, hey, let them both be female. And if you added up those 3 products, it would equal the same thing as 1 minus none. So when there's a few number of things, like 2, 3, or 4, you can do it either way without too much trouble. So how about number 6? Oh, this is 10. Let's do 10 first. The probability of a lame lord leaping is 0.24, and there is an unlimited, that lets you know you're in the geometric world, number of leaping lords. Find the probability of getting your first lame leaping lord after the 6th, which basically means you want 6 failures. Okay, that's the formula. Now that feels kind of odd, like you can understand, okay, well then when does it occur? Well, it occur then on the 7th, or you could have 8 failures and get it on the 9th or whatever. But if you do it the straightforward way, which takes a little bit more work, you could do 1 minus the first lord leaping on the first lord, or it could be the second lord, or this would be the 3rd lord because you get 2 that don't leap. This would be the 4th lord, this would be the 5th lord, and this is the probability of getting it on the 6th lord. So 1 minus this also equals 0.1927. But the shortcut is doing this formula, which is 1 minus, what is it, 1 minus p to the nth power. So if you want it after the 6, the first 6 have to be failures. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to, it feels, and that's the very last formula, and we didn't discuss that yesterday. It feels wrong, but it actually does work out to be okay. All right, for number 6. Let's see if I can find, here's number 6. On or before the 4th trial. Okay, that would be 1 minus more than 4. That's the quick way to do it. So you want the first 4 to be failures and 1 minus that, kind of like what we just talked about. The other way to do it is say, what if I get it on the first one? What if I get it on the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th? That adds up to that. So you can do 1 minus the first 4 are all failures, or you can actually add them up. Here's if I get it on the first trial. So what are you getting? A geese that's laying, a laying goose. So this would be the first laying goose, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th. If you add all those up, it equals the same amount. I don't know what this is. So let me erase that. That's from before. And this is just something, I don't know what, that has nothing to do with the problem either. So are there any other ones that people found confusing? Like on number 9, the word expected is in there, right? The word expected is in there, so you know you're finding a mean. And it says, how many would you expect to have to ask before one accepts? And that tells you you don't know how many you have. And I do understand that it was the 9th day, and some of you thought, oh, I put 9 in there. But that's not the way that the prompt is worded. So that was a little misleading. All right. So make sure your name's on it and put that in your red folder. What we are going to do after we play 4 corners is go over a few of the multiple choice So that multiple choice packet that you got last week, we haven't talked about 5D, and we haven't talked about 6A, B, or C, and I haven't even given you the 6 Ds to do, correct? Okay, so that's what we're gonna go after over the 5 Ds and the 6A and Bs at least before we end today. And then I'll show you what your homework is. All right, am I doing calculator or am I doing me? You don't trust me, huh? Somebody shut the door for us, please. All right, and before we do that, I'll read you a funny little meme. This guy says, my wife's a 4th grade teacher. One of her students changed his name to Reconnecting so he wouldn't be called on, and she didn't catch on to it for a week. Because every time she looked, his Wi-Fi was reconnecting. Not that you should use that. All right, let me assemble. Joey, we're getting low on the starburst. Just saying. Huh?
I said Joe's not gonna win today.
He's not?
No.
Okay, is everybody in their first spot? You guys are back at 1. You're not, nobody's in like in the middle, hedging their bets. Cool. All right, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I know 3s hardly came up at all yesterday.
I'm feeling 4.
5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. So how many? There's 3 of you left?
I actually want a choice.
There's no pink starburst left. They took all the strawberries.
I know, that's a huge fish.
Yes, you can.
Terrible. I'm never going to see.
I know that's a lot. Don't tell people. You deserve it. I've been hassling you. What do you want?
Thank you.
All right, ready?
It's not going to go for the 4th time.
I really like playing this game, but we can't touch.
What games?
You go like this, and I say 1, 2, 3, and you try to
It's impossible.
get your hands out of somebody else's while grabbing onto theirs.
It's not possible.
So you have to go like, basically you want to go like that. But we're not allowed to touch hands because that would be unsanitary. So, ready? Go down. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's 6-3.
You can't have 6 threes in a row. That's not random. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, I just.
5, 4, 3, 2. It's gonna be number 4. Oh. 1. Are you guys all up?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We gotta get rid of 4 of you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yesterday it was stuck on 2s and 4s. Today it's stuck on 3s. Doesn't seem too random to me, Mrs. Garrett. All right, you guys staying? Yeah. Stay until the bitter end.
Oh, man. Damn it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
You 4.
The whole time. I heard we're playing one more time.
Yes, we are. Anybody want Swedish fish or M&Ms?
Yeah,
Do you have your cup still? Okay, well, let me pour it into that cup. You better check those. Somebody might be like, all right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, is it gonna be 3?
No, it's not.
I think it's gonna be 3.
No, because it's gonna be majority.
Thank you for playing. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, dang it.
Down. 5, 4, 3, 2.
The day I don't win is the day we don't do participation.
5, 4, 3, 2. That's the first time 2's come up today, I think.
No.
No?
That was the first time 4 came up, by the way.
Today. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's so.
I'm glad you scurried over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Ready?
Oh, that's so nice.
Guillermo.
Is there 5 of you? 4 of you? I'm just counting Val. Okay, you're either all going down or like, what? Are we in a stalemate? Yeah,
Someone's got to move. Someone's going to win right now.
I have to keep going until you all sit down.
Yeah, no one's going to get candy. Someone's got to move.
Yeah, you understand that, right? Because if I get a 1, you're all out at the same time and no one wins. Ready?
Oh.
We were in it together.
I know. Thanks for bonding. And you 3 need to thank them. Say thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Valerie. What would you like?
Dude, you win every day. Never won for the past 2 days. I would not win once. It's 4, right?
Yep.
Rourke.
All right, Rourke, what do you want?
Yes.
All right, who are our sad losers that didn't win again today? Go ahead and come on up. If you didn't win, you can take.
This feels like a pity kick.
It is pity candy. If you're too proud to take pity candy, then just sit yourself down. You get 2 or 1? 4.
It's honestly better.
Yes, take 4. I really pity you. There's no Reese cups left. M&M's and Swedish fish. Fish.
Thank you.
Anybody else want fish?
That's what it is.
Yes?
We grab the ball and we buy that thing that we got.
Do you want a couple fish or a couple?
I'll tell you.
See how he did that? And I'm kidding you, Dominic. All right, so if you need help with this multiple choice, you should be paying attention. And if you don't need help with the multiple choice, here is your assignment for the weekend. Steven's gonna cry, so just get ready to have a pity party right now. Put it somewhere. Yeah, that's because I didn't get today's organized too well. Those are all the homeworks. That's that. Oh, here it is. 28 to 34, page 30 is optional. And remember, 26 and 27 are optional. That is, it looks like a lot, but I don't think it's gonna take that long. There's a lot of space.
At least it's at least 2 hours.
28 and 29 will maybe take 5 to 10 minutes. There's, the last page is 5 multiple choice, and it will probably take the longest. All right, so right now our test is still on Tuesday. I don't think we have our first homeroom on Tuesday yet, do we?
We're doing homeroom?
We're doing one, well, I think we're doing, is it first block kids or second? Do I have you guys I have to do this with? Oh,
Please pardon the interruption. Today, we will be conducting a rapid dismissal at the end of the day. Please remember to bring all of your materials to the fourth block. Standing next to the building.
Yeah, I saw it.
Again, please bring all materials to the fourth block.
It sounds so sad.
Wait, so do we or do we not have to do page 30? Depends on. Or should we?
I can tell you after you take your test. This page 30 is exactly like the math anxiety in the 10 Californians where I taught you how to use Binoprob or Binomial, CDF or PDF. It's exactly the same type of thing. I don't care. That's why I said optional. That means it's like your option. Until you fail that part of the test and then I'll say, oh, you should have done that. No, I'm just kidding. You won't fail that part of it. Okay, ready? Chapter 5, multiple choices. There were 2 that we have to go over. They were number 7 and number 10, and I think you would be much better with number 7 now, because it says 1 or more of the 3. So that's like saying at least 1. And to do that problem, you would do 1 minus, you don't, 1 minus you lose all 3 days, right? So 1 minus 0.98 to the third power gives you 0.058808. And then I actually demonstrated, here's all the possible sample spaces of winning and losing for 3 days. And if you count up all the ones that have a W in them, which is all of them except for the very last one, it would be the same answer. 5 Ds. So it's page. It's not in our new packet. It's the old stuff that was its own packet that had this. It has this on the front of it. That packet looks like this. And it's in chapter 5, the Ds, because I haven't assigned you chapter 6 Ds yet. And it's actually on page 6 and 7 of this packet. The one I just did is, they're both on 7. The probability that you win 1 or more should be 1 minus 0.98 to the third power, which you would not miss if you did that today. I am highly confident. Okay, and then number 10. Oh, by the way, there's all the answers for the Ds if you didn't get to look, so I'll just leave that up for a second. You'll be able to ask me on Monday more questions about some of these.
What day next week do you think the test will be on?
Tuesday.
I'm on.
That's okay. I did say it a couple times today, and I said it yesterday, and I said it Monday, I think. Did I say it every day this week?
I think so. No way.
Pretty much. That's okay. Now you're making Will feel bad. He's blushing.
He took one on the team, honestly.
Well,
what's your guess?
Speak for yourself, Stephen. I think if I ran my poll, I would have probably out of 22 people, 20 of them say they knew it was Tuesday. Am I right? No, Stephen should be really embarrassed. He's like, you took one for the team. I'm like, the team Kale maybe, but not team second block AP stat. All right. So we have number 7 and number 10. For number 10, you had to use the information in number 11. So I made a tree. You don't have to do the tree, but you had to do the white diabetics, the black diabetics, and the Asian diabetics, and then you had to add those 3 together. So that was a lot of work for a multiple choice question. And that is chapter 5. Now we're going to go over chapter 6A's. because there are 2 there, 2 or 3 there. So this is on page 11 and 12. All right. So we missed 6, 7, and 8, it looks like. And then look at the 6 B's, they're all stacked up. And we didn't miss any that we have to go over. We didn't miss any under 50%. And since everybody's walking out in the hallway and people are getting all nervous, we will go over those on Monday. And did you tell us our homework assignment yet, Mrs. Garrett? Well, thank you for asking, but yes, I did, but in case you forgot, do you think page 30 is optional, Mr. Kale?
You know when teachers say like something's optional, but it's like really not optional?
Do I ever say that?
I don't know, that's why I asked.
Have I ever said it's optional in the past and required it of you?
No.
Okay, then it's still the same.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, good luck everybody this weekend. I know there's gymnastics, WRC, and we're playing AU, Aurora, in hockey. And what else? The basketball team playing basketball again.
Have a nice weekend.
Is the girls basketball team, is anybody on the girls basketball team in here? I think both the teams are playing. Good. Huh? The girls are? I know there's a little turmoil in Texas or something, I don't know. In the girls varsity, I've heard the rumors. I have a friend in high up places. Annie Dubera.
No, you get there early, put your blinders down, and then you go.
Thanks, you too. And you guys are done sitting up front. Woo-hoo! Yep. Have a good weekend. Woo-hoo! It's really close, but it just might happen by the end of the day. I'm gonna do that right after I eat lunch. I'm gonna finish it up. All right, Joey. Have a good one. Is that your every Friday attire there, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I almost put it on and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna be twins again.
What happened?
So I almost put that shirt on and then I thought, oh, I'll be twin again.
Are you going out there too, or is it just I have a presentation to give today in my intro class.
All right, well, present away.
Yes. Luckily enough, though, it's a video. And green screen. Green screen. I learned how to do a green screen.
Nice.
I'm super smart.
Did your dad help you at all?
No.
All right, just checking.
The tech guy, Ryan.
Yeah, Novak.
Yes.
Yep,
Mr.
good.
Novak helped me.
All right, good.
He didn't tell me exactly how to just watch like a 2-minute video and then, boom, I know.
Yep, Google knows all.
Yes. Have a good weekend.
You too.
I heard about that.